Hey everybody, I hope that you are doing well today. Welcome to lesson 3 of our middle school financial literacy curriculum called JA Economics for Success. My name is Steven. I'm super excited to see you guys again for lesson number 3. As a reminder, students, we do these lessons live on Instagram every Tuesday through Thursday in the month of April. And you have some really cool opportunities to win some giveaways during those live lessons. You can follow us at JA North Florida. So let's do a little bit of a recap of what we've learned so far in lessons 1 and 2. In lesson 1, that was called Mirror, Mirror, and we learned more about ourselves in the sense of our likes, our dislikes, what do you want to do, what do you not want to do, what does your future look like. The more we know about ourselves really helps us make decisions, especially for our financial future. What values do you have? Do you want to work inside? Do you want to work outside? It was a self-reflection. Lesson number 2 was called Be a Success. This is where we learned about goal setting. Number 1, you have to define your goal. Step number 2, you have to figure out what type of skills are necessary for that career. Step number 3, what type of education do you need? 4, who are the people that you can reach out to who have a career that's similar to the one that you want to enter in? And then step number 5 is, what are some roadblocks that you may encounter that may be in the way for you to actually achieve your goal? So those were our first 2 lessons, and it's all building up to lessons 3 and 4. So lesson 3, I'm really excited for today's lesson, is called Keeping Your Balance. We know in finances we have to keep our balance. We don't want to spend out the wazoo, but we also don't want to spend so little where we don't have a life. You have to keep your balance. So today we're going to be doing a really fun budgeting activity where you actually get to decide what your future looks like. What you'll need for this specific lesson is a piece of paper. Feel free to grab more if you know that you might need some. 3 sticky notes. I have mine ready right here. I have 1, I got 2, and I also got 3. We'll be using these in the next minute or so, okay? So go ahead and make sure to get your sticky notes, all right? If you do not have your sticky notes, not a problem. You can totally use a piece of paper. So that's why I honestly recommend you might get 1 or 2 pieces of paper. Grab a piece of paper, and then also you need a writing utensil. I have my Sharpie, and then also what you'll need is a calculator, all right? So, my friends, this is what you need for lesson number 3. Let's go ahead and get started. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and grab your very first sticky note. What you can also do on your piece of paper, let me show you. What I did is just did 3 squares on the top of my piece of paper if you do not have sticky notes, all right? So, on your very first sticky note, I want you guys to go ahead and draw a self-portrait. Draw yourself. This can be as extravagant as you want or as simple as you want. I'm not the best artist. I've already admitted that to you guys before. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a stick figure. So go ahead, do that right now. Let me see how wonderful this painting might be. It might be worth $1 million in the next couple of years. You never know. I'm drawing. Good old Steven. Let's give me some pants. I'm giving myself some hands, some feet, some tennis shoes. Love it. My hair's kind of getting a little bit long, so I'm going to try to resemble that as much as possible. Love it. Let's go ahead and give me a smile. Check it out, y'all. Amazing. Aren't you super impressed? My shorts are actually bigger than my entire body. So here's my self-portrait. I'm curious to see if y'all can actually do better than this. I don't know, because this is a piece of art. I'm brought to tears at how beautiful it is. So we have our very self-portrait. Now, this next question is going to go on your second sticky note. I want you guys to go ahead, write down, and you can even draw a picture of your dream vacation. This is anywhere in the world, all right? So I have a picture right here of some really famous landmarks, and of course also on the globe. So where do you want to go specifically? You could totally go to Brazil, India. We have the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. We have Big Ben in England. You could go out west to the Grand Canyon or Utah, anywhere out west in the United States of America. We have the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Roman Colosseum, the Statue of Liberty in New York, the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Wow, so anywhere you can dream of, where do you want to go? It could be absolutely anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and draw out my place. I'll first write out the name. Oops, I actually misspelled it, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that post-it note. Not a problem. That's why it's always helpful to have more, y'all. All right, here we go. Second try. Let's see. All right. I think this is actually pretty all right. So what I said is New Zealand. I said New Zealand. I would absolutely love to go here for a vacation. I even drew some mountain ranges because they're really famous for their Southern Alps. I absolutely love the Lord of the Rings books and also the movies. And so how cool would it be to go to New Zealand, take a vacation there? I heard it's so adventurous and super fun. But go ahead and keep on writing or drawing out the place that you want to go. It could be absolutely anywhere. It could be inside of Florida. It could be far out west in the northeast. It could be Canada. Anywhere. I want you guys to dream big for this vacation, all right? Now, the last sticky note, what it's used for, is go ahead and think how much money is going to cost you to go to this dream vacation, all right? Think about it, how much it's going to spend to go there, what you're going to be spending money on. Think about it. I'm trying to think for New Zealand, all the way from the good old USA here in Florida. I'm guessing my flight would have to be about $1,200 to about $1,500 for a round trip. I'm going to go ahead and say, let's meet it in the middle. Let's do $1,300 for my round trip. Let's see what else. So $1,300 for that. We have to have a car to drive around. $100 a day. Let's say I'm there for a week. $100 a day, so $700. So that brings my total to $2,000. I need some food. Some days I'll probably eat PB&J sandwiches. Other days I might want to go out to eat. So let's think. Let's do 500. I think that's a good amount of money for a meal. So that brings us to $2,500. Then we also have to have a stay. We have to stay someplace, whether it's a hotel or hostel or Airbnb, whatever it may be. Let's see. I'm thinking that might be a decent amount. So let's do another like 700 maybe. Gosh, so what was that? I think, what were we at? 1,300. Then we had 700 for car, meal, 500. So that was 2,500. And then Airbnb, so 700. So right now I'm sitting at 3,200. I don't know, just like other random expenses that I might encounter, like wanting to do like a horseback riding trip through the Southern Alps and see where Lord of the Rings was filmed. I think that would be really fun. So I'm thinking like random trip expenses, maybe another $500. And then, I have to bring back some gifts for my family. So let's go ahead and add, 300 more. So total, what I'm thinking for my trip to New Zealand, I'm curious how much money you're spending on your own, is $4,000. That's a lot of money, y'all. How much is your trip costing? I'm super curious to see how much your trips cost. So I have mine over here on my desk, my great self-portrait. Now what I want you guys to think about is how exactly will you or your parents, guardians, whoever, will pay for this trip. That's a lot of money, and I told you guys to dream big because of course that is totally possible as long as we keep our balance, as long as we go ahead and stick to a budget. Now, this lesson is important because we have to understand what a budget is. It's a careful plan for spending or saving within a certain period of time. Now, this could last 4 or 5 years. This budget could last a couple of months if you're saving for something specific. It really is up to you about what this period of time is, but it's a careful plan for spending or saving within a certain period of time, all right? And what this budget includes is making sure that we have more income than expenses, all right? So income is the amount earned from wages or other sources. This is from our jobs, random things that we get, gift cards, anything that you earn as money is listed as income, okay? We have to make sure that our income, what we earn, is greater than our expenses. This is the amount spent to make purchases and also pay bills. Our expenses are not always random things that us like going shopping and doing all these other random things. Expenses also include paying our bills like our water bill, electricity, our rent or our mortgage for a house. So we have to make sure our income is greater than our expenses, because if our expenses are greater than, that's not going to be good, because that means we're going to be in debt. That means we have to owe the bank money, and we do not want that interest. We don't want to pay more money because we're out of money. Yeah, because that's not good. So we have to stick to a budget where our income is greater than our expenses. What a budget also includes, though, is a term called opportunity costs. It's the next best alternative that is given up when a choice is made. So I want to provide a scenario for you guys where I'm currently living in Florida, and I think everybody knows that the Florida summer is so hot. It's so hot. So imagine living in a Florida summer for your house. Naturally, your AC bill, or you want to increase your AC, so that's going to cost some more money because it costs more energy and electricity, all right? So naturally, if we know that we have to spend more money in the summer, that means that something else will have to decrease. Maybe our entertainment bill, like we can't go to as many movies or concerts because we know we have to spend more money on electricity for our house to keep cool. I mean, it could be even as simple as if you go out and buy clothes, that means you'll have to decrease another part of your budget where you can't go out to eat as much. So that's what an opportunity cost is, the next best alternative when a choice is made. So this all leads up to our activity where you guys get to figure out what type of occupation that you want to be. We'll figure out about what your income is and also the choices necessary for you to decide for your future. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited for it. Let's go. All right, everybody, welcome to the activity portion for lesson number 3. So, what I need you all to do is go to www.janfl.org. So through your computer, go to www.janfl.org. This is where you'll be able to access our PDF form for our Keeping Your Balance flyer. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this sheet up for y'all. show you what it will look like. So let me go and drag this over. So once you go to www.janfl.org, it will bring you to this very front page with this large green block. What you need to do is go ahead and click on where it says click here. Once you click on that, it will bring you to a brand new page. We're going to let that load up, and it will bring you to where it says, you can scroll down, go to Instagram Live Learning. These are where our lessons are stored. You can click on View Schedule. So go ahead and click on View Schedule, will bring you to a brand new page. And then down to week number 3, Financial Literacy. This is for lesson 3 for middle school. Download budget sheet here. Bring you a brand new page, and it will show you a sheet like this. It has 2 pages, and I want you to go ahead and scroll down to page number 2 where it says budget sheet. So where it says budget sheet, you'll see budget category, column 2, column 3, and also my budget amount in these columns, all right? So you have this PDF flyer. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my PowerPoint. Let me see if I can get, there we go. Awesome. All right, so we have our flyer ready. What I want us to now talk about is, let's see, these various jobs and also incomes and net income and gross income. As you can see, I'm going to stay behind the camera. You can see all of these amazing jobs that are available. Let me see if I can even scroll in for y'all. There we go. Air traffic controller, carpenter, architect, financial service sales agent, fine arts artist, receptionist, plumber, conservation forester. Pay attention to monthly gross and also monthly net. You can also pay attention to the annual gross, but really pay attention to that monthly net and the difference between monthly gross and monthly net. We have more jobs like teacher, factory worker, childcare worker, lawyer, photographer, fast food worker, administrative assistant, family doctor, car salesperson, electrician, postal carrier, pharmacist, construction worker, landscaper, veterinarian, bank teller, police officer, accountant, floral designer, truck driver, computer programmer, college professor, nurse, and then also hairstylist. So these are just a few of the many, many jobs that are available inside the United States of America and that you can possibly enter into. We have a lot of career clusters and also, of course, a lot of careers that are available. So we are going to pick one of these, and we're going to really focus on what it means to have a monthly net and also monthly gross income, as it labels here on the bottom of each little card. So when we're talking about monthly gross or gross income, that means it's income before taxes have been deducted. So let's go back. For a nurse, their monthly gross is $6,000. This is their income before taxes or even benefits like insurance are taken out. So per se, they're not really receiving this money that's monthly gross. However, they will be receiving net income. This is the income after taxes have been deducted. So looking back to our nurse, their monthly gross was $6,000. Their monthly net was $4,100. So that means that $1,900 was taken out for taxes and then also other benefits like insurance. So really what we earn, what we take away, what we can spend is our net income. And that's what we're going to be focused on when we choose a specific employee. So we have our gross income, income before taxes have been deducted, and then we also have our net income. So what I want you to do, go ahead and access your PDF file that we already went to on janfl.org. I have mine pulled up over here. Let me just drag it on over for y'all. So you can totally follow along, and the cool thing is, y'all, you can do this activity on your own to where you can just select a specific job and then figure out the math on your own. This is really simple. I'm looking forward to doing it together. So we have our budget sheet. This is on page number 2 of our Keeping Your Balance flyer. And so I went ahead and added in some dollar signs just to make it nice and simple for us. So on this left side, we have our budget category. Now, Junior Achievement has went ahead and helped us out with deciding what these categories are. We have savings, charitable giving, housing, transportation, food, entertainment, clothing, and also other expenses that we just might, things might just come out randomly. And it tells us in column 2 what is the suggested percentage that we should spend on that specific category. We always recommend for everybody, whether you are a student or an adult, to pay yourself first. That means that money needs to go into your savings the very first thing when you get that income. So they recommend 10%. So that's 0.10 times whatever monthly net income that you actually make. So we have our savings for 10%, charitable giving is 5%, housing 25%, transportation is 15%, food's 15%, entertainment 10%, and clothing 5%, and then other expenses are 15%. So let's go ahead. We're going to be a financial analyst. Let me go ahead and see what our monthly income is. Awesome. Okay, found it. So we have our financial analyst, and so our monthly gross income is $5,900, but our monthly net income, this is what we're really focusing on, is $4,000. So you can go ahead and write on your file, or your flyer, $4,000. I'm going to write it on the sheet of paper just so I know. All right, so $4,000. So let's go ahead and do this math together. You will need your calculator. I have my calculator right over here. So let's do this math together. So $4,000 for our savings monthly, what do we need to do? So 10%, that's 0.10, so 0.10 times 4,000. That's $400. So $400. Charitable giving, 0.05, because that's 5%, times 4,000. That's $1,000. Housing is 25%, that's a lot, because that makes sense. We do spend a lot of money on housing. So 0.25 times 4,000, that's $1,000. Transportation is 15, so 0.15 times 4,000 is 600. Food, once again, is 15%, so we don't need to calculate that since we just did it. So that's another $600. For entertainment, that's 10%. We've already done savings for 10%, so it's the exact same. So $400 for our entertainment. 5%, we've already done charitable giving for 5%. So that is, oops, I did $1,000 up there. Let me just confirm. So 0.05 times 4,000. 200. I don't know where I got 100 from. There we go, that's better. Housing, so clothing is also 200. And then other expenses, 15%. We've already done that before, so that's $600. So total is $4,000, because all this equals 100%. All right, so this is what they recommend for us to spend on our various categories. So let's take a look at it. We've seen that housing's 1,000, transportation 600, food is 600, entertainment 400, clothing 200. This is the suggested amount. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. You can obviously stay on your PDF file. So I'm going to go, and guess what? We actually get to choose what we want to spend money on now in our fourth column, my budget amount. So we have our suggested, but let's see if things can change. We're really going to focus first on the housing all the way to clothing, and let's go for it. Here we go. All right, so over here we have our different categories. Let's see if I can zoom it in for you. I want to make sure that you can see it. Let's see. There we go. Sorry, y'all. Beautiful. All right, so we have housing. There we go. All right, so we have housing choices: $1,200 a month, $700 a month, $500, or $250. So a 2-bedroom apartment in the city, walk to work. That's really nice, but honestly, I think I want to live by myself, but I don't know if I need to spend that much money. So I'm gonna go ahead and write down $700 for my housing choice. All right. You could also live in the 2-bedroom. It really depends on what your income is. Right now, I think we're obviously doing really well with just choosing that 1-bedroom apartment near a commuter train. So let's go to our next one: transportation. New sports car, new compact car, used car, or public transportation, varying from $800, $400, $200, and then $100. So I honestly think it would be nice to have a new compact car. I don't need a sports car. I honestly think insurance will be a little bit more expensive as well. So I'm gonna choose a new compact car. So I'm saving money. I think this is good, but I'm also treating myself a little bit. Here we go for food choices. So we have fast food takeout or restaurant meals daily for $650. Fast food lunches, cook-own dinners, dine out on weekends for $360. Brown bag lunches, cook-own dinners, carry out pizza on Saturdays for $325. And then brown bag lunches, cook-own dinners, eat leftovers on weekends for $250. Honestly, I really do enjoy eating out, but I also like cooking for myself. So I'm gonna choose $360. I'm gonna choose that $360. All right, and then we have, what's our next one? Entertainment. Concerts every weekend, tennis, golf, or skiing, weekly local sporting events, movies every weekend, music and CDs, movie rentals and downloads. So it varies from $280 all the way to $25. And I really do enjoy playing tennis. I've mentioned that before, so I'm gonna choose that $120 category. And then our final one that we're focusing on is clothing. Designer fashions for $400, department store clothing for $200, discount store clothing for $100, secondhand store clothing for $50. I think I'm gonna go for $200. I think I can afford that. I mean, that seems like a lot for clothes, but I think it's definitely doable. So let's go ahead and go back. We've made our choices for our various categories. Let's go to our budget sheet. So these are our recommended. So I told you guys that we do want to pay ourselves first. So let's go ahead and do that again. So I'm going to come back over here. So let's go ahead and type in 400 because we're just going to follow the recommended budget category. Let's skip over charitable giving just for right now since that wasn't one that we focused on. So housing, they recommended $1,000. Thinking back on our budget sheet, we actually chose $700. Nice, so we are under budget right now. This is awesome. Transportation, they recommended us to have $600. Guess what? We got that new compact car, not the sports car. So that's $400. Then for food, they recommend $600. Guess what? We did $360. Entertainment, they recommended $400. We did $120. That's way under budget. That's awesome. And then clothing, our last category, they recommended $200, and we spent $200 a month on clothing. So wow, we've really saved a lot of money. Let's go ahead and just keep charitable giving at $200. Obviously, we can increase it if we would like. And then other expenses, same thing, let's just keep it at $600. So let's do that math. I have my calculator right here. So on the recommended budget, the suggested amount, we obviously used our entire income for $4,000. Let's count this together. So 400 plus 200 plus 700 plus 400 plus 360 plus 120 plus 200 plus 600. Wow. So that means our total after what we spent money on is $2,980. We saved over $1,000 based on our choices alone. That's a lot. So guess what? Understanding opportunity costs and saying if I spend more money on one category, that means I need to spend less money on another category. The same goes if you spend less money on one category, that means you have more for another one. I want to go on a trip to New Zealand, and it's going to cost about $4,000. So right now, in this 1 month alone, I'm going to go ahead and put that extra money that we have into my savings. So instead of saving $400 in 1 month, let's go ahead and add $1,020. So $1,420. So that does total our amount to $4,000. So, wow, already I'm more than a quarter away of making it to New Zealand, all right? That's awesome because I saved on all these other categories. I was able to put more into savings and really save for something that I'm really excited about. So the cool thing about this activity is that you can totally do this on your own, students. You can choose a job and also monthly net income. You can even Google it if you would like. But we also have all these categories and everything on this lesson. So let me bring it back to my PowerPoint. And so just as a recap of everything that we've learned is really thinking, we've only did this for one person, so really for us to think about is how exactly did income play a factor in affecting our budget choices? Was it, we obviously made a decent amount of money per month, so we were able to make some more expensive choices, but if we didn't make as much, that means that we would have to choose some a little bit less expensive options. So number 2, today we created a budget for a single person. How would adding family members affect it? What additional categories would you need? That's right. If we had a family, if we had kids, that means we would have to add all of their hobbies, their sports, their academic achievements or expenses. There are a lot of categories we even missed out on if we had a family. So we also have to consider that money is not always easy to sort through. Then number 3, because everyone has different wants and needs, individual budgets look different. What additional budget categories would you add specifically? It could be a wider range of what your interests are. And then this next one is, how would an emergency affect your budget? Where would you make adjustments? Emergencies always happen. They don't happen at good times. They don't happen at bad. They happen whenever they want to happen, these emergencies. So it's important for us to add to our savings. So students, you did a wonderful job. As a reminder, you could totally do this activity on your own. You can choose any of these various jobs. You can even Google more. We have family doctor, floral designer, hairstylist, pharmacist, child care worker, lawyer, air traffic controller, and also fast food worker. It's really up to you and what you want to decide. That's the fun thing about this budgeting activity. Students, I've had a lot of fun. Really looking forward to doing lesson 4 with you and learning more about credit cards and also debit cards. But keep on learning about finances and keeping your balance. We'll see you.